Another fantastic performance. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
very
very
much.
welcome. Okay, first off, I mean, is this experience, are you now, no, it doesn't phase you anymore, or it's still overwhelming, all this?
Is it still overwhelming? Yes, it is overwhelming. It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, getting out the car at Radio City the other day, and these screams going up. I thought George Clooney must have leapt out the trunk. You know, it's just been fantastic response, and everybody loved it yesterday. The kids just. It's really nice.
It's a
really
great,
nice to see.
It's a great picture. It really is.
It is.
And
Yeah.
Hagrid actually, he takes a different turn in this. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, go on.
Because he's vulnerable. It's very different. How was it
Definitely.
getting into his head this time around?
Well, still the same guy, really. I mean, I think what was revealed really with old Buckbeak was really how emotionally involved he was in the animals. And we all knew that he had a facility with them, and he was quite fond of the little dragon and so forth. But he really was monumentally upset when it looked as if somebody was going to get executed. We can't say, really. That's what, can we?
No.
Well, they've all read the book, actually. I mean, that's the amazing thing about the films is a lot of the time, I don't know what the percentage is, the kids go in and they know what's going to happen, but they're still completely captivated by seeing how it actually works.
And he gets a promotion in this. That's pretty cool.
Professor, thank you. Yes. I think his teaching skills could be polished a little, but it was his first day.
Yeah. Well, Harry got on well with him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he always
Yeah,
does.
and Malfoy screwed up, of course, as usual.
Big surprise. But
Big
he gets
surprise.
his.
Yeah, he does. He gets it. He deserves it.
Yeah. And
that
Emma
bit with
enjoyed
Emma,
that.
oh yeah, that is wonderful. That bit, I love that bit. The huge cheer went up. It's like everybody's wanting that to happen for three films, haven't they?
Exactly. I asked her about that. I said, it's been pent up for 3 years. She goes,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Tell me, in your opinion, how have the kids really changed over the last 3 years? What do you see the most, like in your eyes? You've spent all this time
The
with
most
them now.
changed?
Yeah.
Well, physically they're changing, obviously, becoming adolescents. They're more confident, and they're less distracted, obviously. You know, they're much more focused, I'd say. They get through the work much quicker. Yeah.
And what about Daniel? I mean, to take on this role and how
I
it
know.
evolves,
I
and
know.
especially with this one because
Surely.
it's so emotional.
Yes, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know, how would you describe?
I don't think
watching him?
he could have done it 3 years ago. I think he'd have done that part 3 years ago. He's learned so much in the other films, and he comes across as a really sort of rather heroic dude in this one, doesn't he? Yeah, and much more emotional. And I mean, it's such a roller coaster because all these people changing identities, people you trusted, and there's all the business with his father and his father's best friend and his godfather. I mean, all the most powerful feelings he has are kind of in conflict all the time.
Yeah, it's
Really.
he was really fantastic.
He was absolutely terrific, wasn't he?
Yeah, really good.
They all
As
were.
everybody,
Yeah.
as everybody was. Now you also
And
get.
so was I.
And well, that goes without saying, though. No, that goes without saying. I mean, come on, Hagrid.
Hey, no,
He's great.
okay.
You're amazing. What are you
Well,
talking
no.
about?
We
Don't
like
be
old,
so.
we like old Hagrid, don't we?
We do like old Hagrid.
Yeah.
Why do we like old Hagrid so much? Why do kids really love this guy?
Well, I don't know. I think it's the Gary Cooper thing. People like big, strong, silent men who are on your side. Everybody wants somebody like that. I mean, I would like that. You know what I mean? It's not just kids. I would like a 8'6" pal who would sort out people who were bad and a threat to my children or stuff. I'd love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, in this film also, aside from the kids, but there's some phenomenal co-stars.
Surely.
Let's talk about, I mean, first off, having somebody like Gary Oldman.
Gary
on set.
Oldman. Well, it's his first proper film, of course, and I think he might do quite well. What do you think?
I think people
Yeah.
might hook on to this guy.
He does it wonderfully. That poster, just that Charlie Manson stare out of the poster, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And he couldn't be, in real life, he couldn't be anything less like that. He's such a sweet man. Always plays these scariest psychopaths.
Yeah, he was
Terrible.
awesome.
But, yeah, he was terrific, wasn't he?
Yeah. Now, Emma Thompson, my favorite. I thought she was
Sure.
just brilliant. in
She was
this.
brilliant. She was just absolutely brilliant. That dotty kind of sort of woman who makes her own bread, you know. And you know what I mean? That whole sort of slightly bohemian craziness, she got it absolutely right. Very, very funny. And suddenly the voice coming out with that inspired stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she's just
Yeah,
brilliant.
she
And
sure is. I worked with her a lot. We did a TV series in the 80s called Tutti Frutti about a rock and roll band. And she used to sing and all that. Was great.
Now, of course, Alfonso took over the reins. What
did.
was the difference? I mean, I know you had Chris around. He was a producer, but he had to
Yes.
step back. What was the
Yeah.
major difference you found working with someone like Alfonso? You know, his style or how he worked with you or the kids. What did you find the major?
Well, he's slightly crazier than Chris. Chris is crazy, but in a controlled way. All directors of major films, I think you have to be crazy even to think of taking it on, because it's 24 hours a day for 2 years, really. I mean, the actual filming may only take 6 months, but there's prep and then there's editing, there's all that stuff. It's a huge undertaking for anybody. And although Columbus is insane, he keeps it very much under wraps. Whereas Cuarón, who's also insane, lets you know occasionally. That's about the main difference. And also, if he has one or two people who are also Mexican, and he speaks incredibly fast Spanish, so you can't hear the asides. Something like Buenos Aires. I do speak Spanish, but not my vocabulary can't keep up with them at all.
Yeah. Does it ever amaze you? I mean, how a director pulls something like this all together?
I do think it's quite magical. I feel quite inadequate actually, compared with people who can do that, because my part of it is just so small compared with that. I really do. I mean, hats off to them. Some of them are basically people who in another life would have been a dictator of a small country somewhere. But some, I mean, we've been very, very lucky with Columbus and Cuarón. The people who actually like making films and like to surround themselves with creative people and enjoy the process.
Yeah. And how did you find his relationship with the children? You know, it's
Well,
hard
it
to
was
work
slightly
with kids.
different. I mean, it's interesting. Well, that was quite interesting, the difference, because they are sort of early adolescents. It was much more joshy. You know, it was much more kind of. He teased them an awful lot and wound them up and told them their shoes were hideous. And you know, like them, like the way you do when you're that age. You know, because that's the way they relate to each other in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So next up, we've got Goblet of Fire coming up already. I mean, man,
Yeah.
this doesn't end.
It never ends. I know, it's like having a proper job.
Can you imagine?
My
as an
family,
actor?
I get teased at that. Say, "Oh, we've got a job now, have you?" You know.
After all your years in making movies and
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
can you give us like a little hint at what you're looking forward to? I'm working with Mike Newell, I'm sure.
Mike Newell, terrific director. It'll take me a while to beat him down to do exactly what I say, as I had to do with the other two, but it'll happen. And of course, Hagrid falls madly in love, which is interesting.
There is a lot to look forward to.
A lot to look forward to.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Best of luck.
Surely.